Hello everyone, good evening. I hope you can hear me. So I was just doing some technical setup so that I'm audible in a better way. And if you're live, just put a comment to fill me your presence. I can see, yeah, Mr. Yogesh, some comments are there. Waiting for one more interesting session. Yes, me too. Waiting to meet everyone who come here online and people who share their likes, loves for these sessions. People who share their comments. If not in the live session, but in the sessions that people watch the recorded session and then share their comments. Yes, obviously, the topics that we try to cover are the real life, real practical life situation in a corporate environment, which can help someone to grow in their career. If people are feeling that they are stuck in their career, uh, these topics will help them to come over those kind of situation. It is, often said that, well, I know this thing, I know that thing. That's true. We know so many things, right? In today's free information world, nothing is as such subject to only somebody, very special person's information, right? The information is freely flowing everywhere. It is available to everyone. So even after knowing that, we know that time to time it is very important that we keep on discussing about this kind of topics because it reminds us, helps us to stay on the track. Yeah, that's why it's so very important to keep on discussing about all these topics. Hey, Ankit, good evening. Thanks for being there. I see Akhilesh also. Thanks a lot for being there. Good evening. So, friends, before we go into the topic, just a bit introduction about me. If somebody is there watching me live for the first time, or somebody is there who will be watching me in the recorded session, my name is Rituman Chakrabarti. Who am I? I am an author. I have till now written two books. One as a co-authoring, which became Amazon bestseller, and one of the books that I have written on my own. I'm in the process of planning for my third book. There's a lot of planning going on. It's a different thing that I could not able to manage so much of time for working on the particular project yet. So I'm also a certified trainer from IITD. Thanks to Dr. Rajan, who actually taught me the skills of training, and the entire team of Train the Trainer group, who has actually taught me, and along with me, there are many other trainers who have also gone through that particular session to learn various aspects of how to impart a training program. And I have also done a certification from International Coaching Federation on life coaching and executive coaching. Yeah, so that's about me. What I exactly love, I love to work with people who are corporate employees, who are professionals, and who has a vision to grow in the career. So I love working with those kind of people. So that's about me. Now, coming back to what exactly we are going to discuss today. Well, I see one more person. Satya, hi, good evening, good evening. Thanks for being there. So what exactly we are going to discuss today is this particular thing. We will discuss what are employability skills and how to develop them. Well, we are saying it's a part one because this is a very prolonged topic. That's a very, very large topic. Well, I suddenly remembered, कि हम लोग ये वाला सेशन डुअल लैंग्वेज में करने वाले थे, राइट? लास्ट वीक हम लोगों ने किया था इंग्लिश और हिंदी दोनों लैंग्वेज में. सॉरी, भूल गया था. सो आई नीड टू कंटिन्यू. इस बार भी हम लोग वही करेंगे. हम लोग डुअल लैंग्वेज यूज करेंगे, इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी बोथ, सो दैट वी आर इजीली understood by people en masse. So that's the intention of using दो language, हिंदी और English. आज हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं what are employability skills and how to develop. So जैसे कि यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने लिखा कि it is part 1. So अगले हफ्ते part 2 हम लोग बात करेंगे. वेरी लार्ज टॉपिक है, सो दैट कंप्लीटली टॉपिक को हम लोग कवर कर सके इन डिटेल. दैट्स द इंटेंशन ऑफ ब्रेकिंग इट डाउन इनटू 2 सेपरेट एपिसोड्स. नाउ हम लोग क्या एग्जैक्टली देखेंगे इसमें? सो वी विल बी कवरिंग 3 questions. The answers to 3 questions we'll be looking into it. Question number 1 for us is this, which is what is the meaning of employability skills? ये चीज है क्या? अच्छा, आगे बढ़ने से पहले एक चीज मैं आप लोगों को रिमाइंड कर देना चाहता हूं, इज दैट if you have something to share, if you have some comment to make on this particular topic, अगर आपका कोई ओपिनियन है, कोई सजेशन है, कोई स्टोरी आप शेयर करना चाहते हो, प्लीज गो अहेड and write that in the comment section. I'll be showing it live here. I'll also ensure that if I miss to show it live here, I'll be responding to each and every comments that you'll be making on this particular topic. Well, that was just a reminder. So that is the first thing we are going to cover as a part of this particular topic के employability skill का meaning क्या है. हम लोग ये जो बात कर रहे हैं employability skill, ये है क्या चीज? That's something that we will discuss about. Then we will also look into what are the most essential employability skills. वो बहुत जरूरी जो employability skills होते हैं वो क्या है, वो हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. And the third thing that we will discuss is obviously हमें पता है कि ये employability skills है, so question है इसको develop किस तरह से करें, how to develop employability skills. So these will be the 3 aims and objectives of our talk. Okay, so with that we will start the session. And yeah, Yogesh ji has a comment. How do we face politics in corporate? Well, that is a very interesting topic. In fact, I would like to cover the topic in a separate session. Thanks for mentioning that. We will cover that particular topic in a completely different talk schedule that we'll be doing in the coming weeks. Today we'll be concentrating on this employability skill. Thank you for your comment, Yogesh ji. So now the question is, when we are talking about employability skills, आपको अपने आप को एम्प्लॉयबल बनाने के लिए, मतलब सो दैट आपको जॉब मिले या आप जॉब में रहो, कंटिन्यू करते रहो जॉब में, आपको क्या करना चाहिए, कौन से स्किल्स की जरूरत है? अच्छा, एक कॉमन जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल हु वांट टू बिल्ड देयर कॉर्पोरेट कैरियर, हम लोग ये सोचते हैं, वी थिंक दैट आई एम एजुकेटेड, I have so many certifications, right? So I am employable. अभी तो मुझे जॉब मिल जाएगी यार, मेरे पास एजुकेशन है, मेरे पास सर्टिफिकेट्स है, इतने सारे सर्टिफिकेट्स रखे हुए हैं. इनफैक्ट मैंने इतना मोटा एक फाइल भी बना लिया है, मेरे बिग फाइल ऑफ माय सर्टिफिकेट्स. सो आई एम एम्प्लॉयबल. देयर आर कंपनीज हु आर एक्चुअली लुकिंग फॉर कैंडिडेट्स लाइक मी. इतना ज्यादा एजुकेशन है मेरे पास. सो क्या ये सच है? Do you believe that those certificates and those educational qualifications are enough to take you to the level that you want to grow in your career? Do you believe, is that enough? Can you put your comments in the comment section? Let me just read a few comments if you want to share. I'll just wait for a few seconds if some comments are there, so that I'll show it here. आपको क्या लगता है कि वो जो कॉलेज की एजुकेशन है, वो जो यूनिवर्सिटी की एजुकेशन है, वो जो आपके पास इतने सारे सर्टिफिकेट्स हैं, क्या वो काफी है आपको कैरियर में या जॉब में ग्रोथ के लिए, आगे बढ़ाने के लिए? इज दैट एनफ? No comments till now. Okay, we will see if some comments are coming. As soon as the comments are there, we will actually showcase those comments to all of you. Now, let us come to another question that, what is employability? ये employability skill जो हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, सबसे पहले ये जान लेते हैं कि employability है क्या चीज. What is employability? So let's look into this particular question. Is there a comment? Let me see. Yeah, so Satya is saying education qualification not sufficient for growth and new jobs. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Whether others also agree to this particular comment that Satya is making, that education qualification is not sufficient. इसके अलावा भी आपको और कुछ चाहिए. That's what he feels. And Santosh is saying, yeah, it's good to land on good job, but not to go further on higher levels. Wow, that's a fantastic comment that you made. कि हाँ, तो आपका जो एजुकेशन है वो आपके लिए जरूरी है, वो आपका पहला कदम है. That will help you to take the first step. ये आपको हेल्प करेगा वो पहला कदम लेने के लिए आपके जॉब में. But as far as growing up in career is concerned, that may not be enough. Okay, thanks for sharing those comments. Let us come back to our question, which is, what is employability? Employability क्या चीज है? Now, to define employability, can you think of that when you first time applied for a job, uh, there is a certain job description that was given to you, right? कि इस जॉब के लिए आपको ये सारी चीजों की जरूरत है. Possibly if you work as a as I say, very entry level job, a data entry operator in any particular company, and in that data entry job description, it was mentioned that you need to know computer. आपको कंप्यूटर की जानकारी होनी चाहिए, कंप्यूटर में किस तरह से काम करना है, डेटा एंट्री किस तरह से करते हैं, पढ़ाई लिखाई जरूरी है, इंग्लिश नॉलेज जरूरी है, सो आप नंबर्स को पढ़ सकते हो, सेंटेंस बना सकते हो, इस तरह की चीजें लिखी होंगी, राइट? बिकॉज दोज आर द वेरी वेरी बेसिक educational qualifications, educational knowledge that you bring with you to a particular job, right? Now there are certain skills जो कि आपके job description में लिखा हुआ नहीं रहेगा. Now these are the skills that will not be listed in that job description. Well, friends, those are the skills in general. We call them employability skills. These are the skills which are not generally taught in colleges and universities and schools. They don't teach you this kind of skills. They teach you the academic skills. They teach you the mathematics, the sciences, the social studies, the economics, and all those things of the world, right? Also the technical things. But they don't teach you these particular skills that we are talking about. Another very important aspect of these kind of skills is that these skills create a difference between two people at workplace with similar education. These are such skills, even though there are two people coming with the same, exactly same educational background. They are from the, say for example, they have passed out from the same management institute or the engineering institute. But these skills that we are talking about will still be differentiating these two people who are having exactly the same educational qualification. So friend, these are the skills that are known as employability skills. These skills are considered that आपके पास ये skills होने चाहिए. ये हम पूछेंगे क्यों? आपको अगर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम करना है, ये skills आपके पास होने चाहिए. So yes, Santosh, you are right. Soft skills are required, but you also know that in most of the cases, soft skills चाहिए बोल के लिखा हुआ नहीं रहता है. In some of the job description, they might be mentioning some of these job skills, some of the soft skills. कुछ job में लिखा हुआ रहता है कि you need to be able to communicate well with people. But not in all types of jobs that this kind of skills are clearly mentioned. These are इनफैक्ट जब जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन बनाया जाता है, द पर्सन हु विल बी मेकिंग द जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, दे थिंक अ लॉट अबाउट, अरे कितने सारे सॉफ्ट स्किल्स में एंट्री करें। एक टाइम में उन लोगों को भी रोक जाना पड़ता है कि चलो इतना सारा मेंशन करने का जरूरत नहीं, इतना तो होना ही चाहिए बंदे में यार। इफ द पर्सन इज अप्लाइंग फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर जॉब, ही और शी हैज टू पोजेस दिस वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सॉफ्ट स्किल्स। इसके लिए लिखने का जरूरत क्या है? So today we will be looking into 10 most important employability skills. In fact, today we will be looking into 5 of the most important employability skills, and in the subsequent part 2 we'll be covering the balance skills. So yes, Mr. Yogesh, certificate is just an entry to the corporate world. आपके पास अगर सर्टिफिकेट है, आपके पास अगर all those educational qualifications, वो जितने सारे educational qualification होते हैं, those will only help you to make an entry into the corporate world. And then, as you are correctly saying, Yogesh ji, then you need to prove your worth, that you are really capable to grow further in the organization. नहीं तो जहाँ पे हो वहीं पे रह जाओगे मेरे दोस्त, आगे नहीं बढ़ पाओगे. And that's something we are trying to cover today. So as I said that we will be talking about 10 most important, most critical employability skills. तो शुरू करते हैं. कौन से वो स्किल्स हैं? आप देख के बोलोगे, अरे ये वो तो मुझे पता था, ये तो मेरे पास भी है. हाँ, तो जरूरी है एक बार रिमाइंड कर लेते हैं ना. So let's look at the first skill. Yes, I know it, communication skill. ये तो है, मेरे पास भी है और ये जरूरी है, मालूम है. Now I'll just take you through a few questions that are normally asked in an interview to assess how strong you are in these employability skills. Possibly those questions will actually remind you about your experience of attending an interview and your experience of how that question was relevant to the kind of job that you are currently doing. So let's look into that. One of the questions that I could actually, when I was thinking, I could actually think of is, how would you describe yourself? So this is a very, very common and generic question. ये पूछा जाता है इंटरव्यू में कि आप अपने आप को किस तरह से describe करोगे, किस तरह से explain करोगे, that who are you, who are you, Mr. X, okay, Miss X, Mr. X, how do you define yourself, how do you describe yourself? And बहुत लोग मुश्किल में पड़ जाते हैं. ये क्वेश्चन आसान सा लगता है, राइट? बट इतना आसान भी नहीं है ये जो क्वेश्चन है. आप अपने आप को किस तरह से डिस्क्राइब करोगे? वेल, किसी दूसरे चीज को डिस्क्राइब करना उस टाइम में लगता है कि आसान होता, अपने आप को डिस्क्राइब करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. मैं कौन हूं, मैं क्या हूं, ये तो कभी सोचा नहीं. आई ऑलवेज लुक्ड इनटू द आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड. मैंने बाहर की दुनिया को समझने की कोशिश किया है, बाहर की चीजों को समझने की कोशिश किया है, बट मैंने अपने आप को समझने की कोशिश कभी नहीं किया, बिकॉज मेरे को नहीं लगता था कि इस तरह के क्वेश्चन कोई मुझे इंटरव्यू में पूछेंगे कि हाउ वुड यू डिस्क्राइब योरसेल्फ. सो दैट्स अ क्वेश्चन व्हिच इज आस्क्ड टू यू टू असेस योर कम्युनिकेशन skill. I'm not going into the answer of this question because that's a different topic altogether. That how do you handle those interview questions? Possibly sometime we'll be covering some of the very important interview questions and how to answer those questions also, but not today. This is just to tell you that, and just to remind you that sometime in your interview, maybe somebody has asked you this particular question, and one of the reasons that this question is asked, ये question इसलिए पूछा जाता है ये अनुमान लगाने के लिए कि आपका कम्युनिकेशन स्किल कितना स्ट्रांग है और उसमें कोई इम्प्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है कि नहीं. कुछ लोगों को जब ये सवाल पूछा जाता है, लोग बोलते हैं हाँ मेरा नाम मिस्टर अमित कुमार है मान लीजिए, आगे मैंने ये पढ़ाई किया है, मेरे घर में भाई बहन इतने लोग हैं, माता पिता ये काम करते हैं, and yeah, that's all, nothing more. So सोचिए इस बारे में कि ये क्वेश्चन का जवाब अगर आपको पूछा जाता है आप किस तरह से दोगे. The another type of question that is also asked in interviews is, can you explain a situation where you had to share a negative information with your superior? Well. Here, uh, again, somebody is trying to assess your communication skill by asking this question कि आप एक नेगेटिव सिचुएशन को अपने सुपीरियर के पास लेके गए and how did you explain or passed on that information to your superior like सर गलती हो गया मेरे से, मैंने ये काम खराब कर दिया, कैसे बताओगे? Well, it requires some skill related to your communication. Yeah. So maybe this kind of questions can also be asked to you, that how do you passed on that negative information? It may be to your superior, to your colleagues, etc. Right? Yep. So there's a comment. Sometimes people hesitate to share personal information with interviewers. Yes, you're right. So it happens quite often, and people don't actually think that क्या बताए, कौन सा चीज बताए अपने बारे में, कौन सा पार्ट बताए अपने जिंदगी का, right? So we need to be, just a small hint here, that normally while answering this particular question, you also need to relate that what is that job you're applying for, what are the skill sets that are needed for your job. So while explaining and describing yourself, try to cover those skills as one of your strong areas while describing yourself. So this is a hint that I thought of sharing with all of you. Yeah. So when we are talking about this communication, the question that comes is, does communication simply mean that people are able to understand what you want to tell them or whatever you are speaking? आप जो बातें कर रहे हो वो बातें लोगों को समझ में आ जाए, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल का मतलब खाली इतना ही है? तो कोई बोलेंगे हाँ मैं इंग्लिश में बात कर सकता हूँ, बाकी लोग मुझे समझ सकते हैं इंग्लिश में. इज दैट कम्युनिकेशन स्किल? मैं हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ, मैं और दूसरा कोई लैंग्वेज में बात कर सकता हूँ, लोग मुझे समझ सकते हैं. इज दैट ऑल कम्युनिकेशन स्किल? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? थिंक अबाउट इट. सो कम्युनिकेशन स्किल नॉर्मली बोला जाता है कि इट इज नॉट ओनली दैट, it is not only that. Well, let me read one more comment that Ankit has shared. Certificates and education would have been a means to get a job, but to stay in the job or develop yourself further, it is more important to develop your inner skills, learn and lead better. Wow, that's a fantastic comment that you have shared, and it's a very deep meaning that you need to develop your inner skills, and you need to continue to learn and how to lead better. Thanks for sharing that. Now, communication skill, as we are explaining, कि मैंने कुछ बात बोला, लोगों को समझ में आ गया, अच्छा मेरा communication skill बहुत अच्छा है. Does it mean that? No, not exactly, right? Communication skill के बारे में जब हम लोग बात करते हैं, आप लोग सबको मालूम है, it is divided into multiple aspects of communication. It means obviously the verbal, the non-verbal communication that is related to your body language, your tonality of the voice, etc., so on and so forth. That's a completely different subject in itself, right? जब हम लोग communication skill के बारे में बात करते हैं, बहुत बड़ा subject है ना, तो हम लोग यहाँ पे तो खत्म नहीं कर सकते. We are just giving you a hint what exactly it means. And yeah, so Ankit has shared one more comment. Certificates and education would have been a means to get a job. Yeah, so better leadership. Yeah, you are right. Thanks for sharing that. Now, again, coming back to the communication skill, it is verbal, it is non-verbal. Well, it is also emotional, right? How do you pass on your emotions to the other person so that the other person can able to understand your emotions better? You also need to communicate visually, non-visually sometimes, and very important aspect of communication जो सबसे last में लिखा हुआ है is, my dear friend, just keeping quiet and listen. बहुत difficult है, right? बहुत difficult है कि चुपचाप किसी को सुनते जाए बिना कुछ बोले. Yeah, I know. But many of you who are listening to me live now are actually showing that you have that quality in yourself. You're not speaking anything. You might be speaking, but at least in this forum, you're not speaking, but you are listening. Well, at least I'm thinking so. You're listening. So you are already displaying your very important communication skill, which is called not only listening, but called active listening. So that's about communication skill, which is the topmost employability skill. अगर ये स्किल आपके पास है, ये आपको मदद करेगा, ये आपको हेल्प करेगा आपके करियर में आगे बढ़ने के लिए. अगर ये स्किल नहीं है, well, it might be a little difficult. Not that you won't be able to grow, but the path और जो आगे बढ़ने की जो रोड है, जो रास्ता है, वो थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो सकता है आपके लिए. What is the next? The second skill that we'll be talking today is known as adaptability. Adaptability का मतलब क्या है? So मैं कुछ एग्जाम्पल ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आप लोगों से शेयर करूंगा जो कि इंटरव्यू में पूछा जाता है टू चेक कि आप एडेप्टेबल हो कि नहीं. वेरी वेरी कॉमन सा एक सवाल होता है इंटरव्यू में जो पूछा जाता है, ये होता है कि कैन यू हैंडल चेंज. आप कुछ अगर बदलाव हो रहा है आपके जॉब में, आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, आप उसको हैंडल कर सकते हो क्या? ऑब्वियसली आप इसका जवाब दोगे क्या? हाँ कर सकते हैं, क्यों नहीं, जरूर कर सकते हैं. But then they might be asking you one more question. Give an example where you adjusted yourself in a completely new environment. Give an example. So यहाँ पे इस बात की उम्मीद की जाती है कि आप वैसा एक एग्जाम्पल दोगे जहां पे आपको एक डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन फेस करना पड़ा, एक कंप्लीटली नया एनवायरनमेंट फेस करना पड़ा आपके वर्क लाइफ में, एंड आपने उस सिचुएशन को सक्सेसफुली हैंडल किया एंड यू कुड एबल टू अडैप्ट योरसेल्फ. आपने अपने आप को कंप्लीटली ढाल लिया उस नए एनवायरनमेंट में. So that example and the way you did it, when you explain that in the interview, then the interviewer will come to know that you have that adaptability skill. Let me tell you that in today's world, adaptability skill बहुत important हो गया, because it's an everly changing environment as far as the organizations are concerned, as far as the outside world is concerned. इस changing environment में अगर आपको टिके रहना है, आपके पास ये adaptability skill होनी बहुत जरूरी है. आपको पता नहीं है कि कल सुबह क्या होने वाला है आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में. आपको फटाक से एक सरप्राइज हो सकता है. उस सरप्राइज सिचुएशन में क्या आप अपने आप को ढाल सकते हो? अगर नहीं, मेरे दोस्त, it might be difficult for you to stay on. Whether you stay in this organization or you decide to go in another organization. Well, talking about another organization, if you go to a new environment, a new job, this adaptability skill is the topmost skill that you need. सबसे जरूरी स्किल ये आपके लिए काम में आएगा अगर आप नए एनवायरनमेंट में जाके काम करना चाहते हो तो. So that's about the second employability skill, which is known as adaptability. What is the third one? The third employability skill is known as problem solving. When we are talking about the corporate world, in today's corporate world, organizations are facing so many problems. There are internal problems, there are external problems, problems which are known, problems which are unknown. प्रॉब्लम जो आपको बता के आती है, प्रॉब्लम जो आपको बिना बताए आ जाती है, राइट? आपके पर्सनल लाइफ में भी आती है, हाँ, इसी तरह से ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में भी उस तरह के प्रॉब्लम्स आ जाती है जो कि बिना बताए आती है. फटाक से आपके पास एक प्रॉब्लम आ गया, देन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को चाहिए इस तरह के बंदे. ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस वांट people who will be able to solve those problems, जो क्रिएटिवली सोचेंगे, नया कुछ आइडिया सोचेंगे उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए. ऐसे बंदों की जरूरत ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में होती है. कैन यू शेयर एन एग्जांपल if you have ever faced that kind of a situation wherein you had to think something unique to solve a problem, जो बताए हुए नुस्खे हैं, बताए हुए तरीके हैं, उससे आप प्रॉब्लम के सॉल्यूशन नहीं निकाल पाए थे और आपको कंप्लीटली नया कुछ सोच के प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन ढूंढना पड़ा. So that problem solving skill is very important. And again, an example of an interview question that may be asked to you. Can you give an example where you solved a problem without managerial input? आपने किसी को पूछा नहीं, आपने मैनेजर से आइडिया नहीं लिया, बट अपने प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन निकाल लिया. उस तरह के एग्जांपल क्या आप दे सकते हो, राइट? ये इस तरह का क्वेश्चन है जो बताएगा कि आप अपने आप में कितना प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकते हो। ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को उस तरह के बंदों की जरूरत है जो कि प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, ना कि प्रॉब्लम के बारे में खाली बताते हैं। ऐसे बंदे नहीं जो आके बोलते हैं कि देखो ये ना प्रॉब्लम हो गया, उधर ना ये प्रॉब्लम है, उधर से ना पानी लीक हो रहा है, उधर से ना मतलब फ्लड आ गया, बाढ़ आ गया। चलो ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम तो है, बट उसका सोल्यूशन क्या दे रहे हो आप? व्हाट इज द सोल्यूशन यू फाउंड आउट, एंड दैट विल improve your employability in the organization. There are one more question that is also asked, can you share one weakness that you overcame? किस तरह के क्वेश्चन है ये? वेल, ये इस तरह के क्वेश्चन है, इस एक क्वेश्चन से दो अलग अलग स्किल्स पता चल जाता है आपके बारे में। नंबर वन, व्हेन somebody is asking you, can you share your one weakness? वीकनेस क्यों बताऊं? मैं क्यों बोलूं मेरा वीकनेस? सर मेरा कोई वीकनेस है ही नहीं, सारे के सारे स्ट्रेंथ से भरे हैं, कुछ नहीं है वीकनेस, तो वीकनेस नहीं बताएंगे। सो दिस क्वेश्चन इज आल्सो टू चेक दैट आर यू रियली ह्यूमन और यू आर सुपरमैन। सुपरमैन का कोई वीकनेस नहीं है, राइट? ह्यूमन के वीकनेस होते हैं। आपका वीकनेस है, मेरा वीकनेस है। ये अलग बात है कि हम लोग वीकनेस के ऊपर ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं देते, हम लोग स्ट्रेंथ के ऊपर ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस देते हैं, जो कि अच्छा है। दैट्स अ गुड थिंग टू डू। You should actually concentrate more on your strengths. There are two different schools of thoughts here. Some people say that you should concentrate on your areas of improvement or your weaknesses and to make them stronger. And another school says that instead of working on your weaknesses better, you spend your time and energy on making your strengths much stronger and be competitive in the market. So ये question से companies are trying to find out that are you human? Are you human in the sense, can you be honest enough to share at least one area of improvement within yourself? And the second thing that they're asking is अगर आपने अपने आप में कुछ अगर वीकनेस देखा तो उस वीकनेस को ओवरकम करने के लिए आपने क्या किया? So that means this was a problem with yourself. ये आपके खुद के साथ प्रॉब्लम था, उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व आपने किस तरह से किया? So this is also a question related to your problem solving capability or to judge your problem solving skill, which is again one more very important employability skill. Now we will come to the fourth employability skill, which is popularly known as collaboration. Collaboration, आपने इस टर्म के बारे में बहुत सुना होगा कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ में। Let us work together. So what kind of questions? There are questions that are asked in the interview to judge your collaboration capability. One of the questions that is asked is, are you a sole worker or a team player? क्या आप एक टीम प्लेयर हो या आप अकेले काम करना ज्यादा पसंद करते हो? किसी के साथ काम नहीं करने का, मुझे खुद दे दो, मैं खुद करता हूं सब कुछ, यू नो, मुझे बहुत पावर है, आई कैन डू एनीथिंग अलोन, किसी का जरूरत नहीं है मुझे। So that can be one of the questions just to see that what kind of person you are. And one more question that can be asked to you is, what do you feel are the important qualities of an effective team? आपको क्या लगता है कि अगर एक टीम बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्टिव है, उस टीम में कौन से वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वालिटीज होने चाहिए? सो दिस क्वेश्चन कैन आल्सो बी आस्क्ड इन द इंटरव्यू टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट what do you think are the qualities which makes a team an effective team, right? And when you talk about those skills, obviously organization will come to know that you are aware that these skills are important. So sometimes only that awareness is very important. Another example of the type of question that may be asked is, share examples where you have successfully worked in a team. So this question is to judge your capability of working in a team environment by sharing an example. ऐसे ही मुंह से बोल दिया है मैं टीम प्लेयर, नहीं चलेगा, आपको एग्जाम्पल देना पड़ेगा वर्क लाइफ सिचुएशन का, जहां पे आपने एक टीम के साथ काम करके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए सक्सेस लेके आए या उस टीम को सक्सेसफुल बनाया आपने. So, under collaboration, these are some of the questions that may be asked to you to judge your collaborative powers, your collaborative skills, which is again one very essential employability skill. So we are coming to the fifth question, and the fifth, not the fifth question, the fifth skill rather, which is a part of employability skill. So what is that? The fifth skill is known as organization skill. अच्छा, ये कौन सी स्किल है भाई? ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्किल क्या है? मैंने तो बड़े बड़े पार्टियां ऑर्गेनाइज की है, बस मेरे पास तो स्किल है. So what skill you want, dear organization? So the kind of question that possibly asks to you to assess your organization skills capability is, how do you prioritize your work during the day? आप अपने दिन के काम को प्रायोरिटाइजेशन किस तरह से करते हो? आपके पास 10 अलग अलग काम आप पूरे दिन में करते होंगे, किस तरह से प्रायोरिटाइज करते हो कि जॉब 1 पहले करेंगे, उसके बाद जॉब 3 करेंगे, उसके बाद जॉब 5 करेंगे, बाद में जॉब 2 में आएंगे, डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर असेसमेंट of the criticality, of the importance of that particular job. आप किस तरह से define करते हो उसको? So this question can be asked to judge your capability. Also another question, can you give an example when you have to handle multiple projects at the same time? How did you feel and how did you handle it? Wow, very very interesting question, right? कि आप इस तरह के example दे सकते हो कि जब एक ही टाइम में आपको multiple projects handle करने पड़े. अच्छा, जब multiple projects आपको handle करने पड़े थे, आप किस तरह से feel कर रहे थे? गुस्सा आ रहा था बहुत ज्यादा, या बोल रहे थे wow, that's a challenging thing, और ऐसा लग रहा था frustrated हो गए, यार छोड़ के चले जाते हैं कहीं दूसरी जगह. How you felt at that time when you have to handle multiple projects at once? अगर आपने हैंडल किया, किस तरह का फीलिंग हो रहा था आपको, and how did you handle multiple projects? How did you arrange, how did you organize all these activities together so that all the projects can be delivered successfully? So these kind of questions can be asked to judge your organization skill, which is the fifth most essential employability skill. So दोस्तों, आज के लिए मैं यहीं पे रुकूंगा, and in the next part of this particular topic we will cover what? We will cover 5 more critical employability skills, and we will also cover some tips about how to develop these 10 employability skills. कैसा लगा आपका आज का सेशन? प्लीज बताइए मुझे by putting your comments either on Facebook comment section or on YouTube comment section, and ये भी शेयर कीजिए कि आपका, अगर if you have any opinions or any points to make regarding the topic that we have discussed today, please share in the comments. I will read all your comments. I'll respond to all your comments. It was a great experience sharing this topic with all of you. And thanks to all of those who watched this particular session live. Also, in advance, I'm thanking to all of those who will be watching this session under the recorded version. Thank you for being here. And take care of your health, take care of your family. We will see you once again next week with the same topic. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.